Hi, this is Jaya. In this video, we shall see the summary of Anthem for Doomed Youth, a poem by Wilfred Owen. This poem is one of the most haunting poems to emerge from World War I. It captures the brutality of the battlefield and the sorrow of those left behind. This is an elegy which is written in the form of a sonnet. As a soldier who was deeply affected by the suffering and death around him, Owen had written this poem during his recovery from shell shock at Craglock Heart Hospital in Edinburgh, which is in Scotland. It is in this place he met his fellow poet Siegfried Sassoon. Sassoon encouraged Owen to strip away the romantic and patriotic illusions about the war and asked him to write with directness and truth about the reality of the suffering in the war. Owen returned to active service in late summer on 4th November 1918, but was killed while attempting to cross the Sambre-Ouse Canal at Ouse with the 2nd Battalion Manchester Regiment, 1 week just before the armistice. The news of his death reached his parents on 11th November, that is Armistice Day, when the world was celebrating the end of the war. The themes of this poem are loss of youth, horrors of war. The speaker here says that there are no bells for those who die, that is the soldiers, and he says these soldiers, they die like cattle, and all they get is the monstrous anger of the guns. They have only the ragged sounds of the rifle as their prayer. They get no mockeries, no bells, no mourning voices, except for the choir of the crazed wailing shells and the sad bugles calling from their home countries. He says there are no candles held by the young men to help their passing, only the shimmering in their eyes to say goodbye. The pale faces of the girls will be what cover their coffins. Patient minds will act as flowers, and the slow dusk will be the drawing of the shades. Here the dusk signifies the end. For many of the soldiers, it is the end. The poem suggests that these young men who died in large numbers lose their individuality and they just become another number in the war. The soldiers hear only the quick loud shouting of the rifles and the frightening sound of the bombs and nothing else. The families of the soldiers mourn from far away. Sadly, the families say goodbye to their loved ones. The girls at home are also a symbol of sadness, with their faces taking the place of funeral clothes. These families are left behind with deep sorrow. Now the poem goes like this. What passing bells for these who die as cattle? Now these symbolifies the soldiers, and he says when someone dies we will have the passing bells. Now these soldiers are dying like cattle. What passing bells is there for them? Except only the monstrous anger of the guns, only the stuttering rifles' rapid rattle can patter out their hasty orisons. Orison is a type of a prayer. So he says the only prayer they get is the sound of the guns and the rattle of the rifles. No mockeries now for them, no prayers nor bells, nor any voice of mourning save the choirs. The shrill, demented choirs of wailing shells and bugles calling for them from sad shires. He says there is no one to mourn for them. All they hear is only the sound which comes from the battlefield. What candles may be held to speed them all? Not in the hands of boys, but in their eyes shall shine the holy glimmers of goodbyes. So he says there is no one there for them to hold the candle so that they will speed them up. And only in their eyes they will say goodbye to the world and leave. The pallor of girls' brows shall be their pall, their flowers the tenderness of patient minds, and each slow dusk a drawing down of blinds. So here dusk means not only the end of the day, it also means the end of the life of the soldier. So he says these people are coming and they are fighting. But for what? They are just losing their life. And it is all the horror of this war. And these people are so young. They have so many more years to live. But they come to fight and they have lost their lives. This is what he says in this poem. If you have anything more to add on to what I've said, please write it in the comment box. Like the video, share it with your friends. And if you have not subscribed my channel, please subscribe and support. Thank you.